Hello everyone, and welcome to the third beta weekend for Neverwinter. This will most likely be the only video that I do for this beta weekend, as there hasn't been a huge amount of changes other than the adding of the new class, the Great Weapon Fighter, for which I have some footage that I'll be editing in after this. But there have been a few smaller enhancements. For example, and I will show you a bit of footage here, the traps are now visible, so you can actually see them before you run over them, even though your character cannot see them. So I don't know if this is necessarily a bug or whether it's an intentional change. I kind of have mixed results on it. You can also see that there's a red aura that goes around the traps once your character actually knows about them or has seen someone run over them, or you yourself have run over them. So I have mixed feelings about this. On the one hand, it's nice to give the players a way to avoid trap damage, even if their character isn't necessarily good at trap finding. On the downside, it means that players can avoid trap damage when their characters are not necessarily any good at trap finding. So I have mixed feelings on that. Other things we've got, well, so I have noticed one new quest in this new beta, and it's rewarded by this item here, which I grabbed in the previous mission for my Great Weapon Fighter. This is the first time I've seen an item that awards a quest in the game. So you can either double click it or right click and hit accept quest. At least that's what it tells you. However, the quest was automatically awarded to me as soon as I picked it up.
Should have stayed in the
So this basically tells me to take the broken idol to Rick's, and is essentially an introduction to some of the vendors in the game, in this particular case, the Astral Diamond vendors. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Astral Diamond mechanic, Astral Diamonds are basically something that you can earn in-game, and that you can either purchase items with directly, or trade with other players for Zen, which is the real money currency in the game. So here we are to turn in the idol to this goblin, who's kind of one of the Astral Diamond vendors. He says he doesn't really want it because it doesn't have any gems or shiny stones in it, and to take it to his mistress, who is actually right next to him, but I'm being an idiot and walking around looking for her. So we turn into her, and it gives us some experience points, some copper, a scroll of identification, and like I said, introduces us to the Astral Diamond vendor. So we're going to open up her store here to take a look at what she's got. And the first thing I notice here is that this is where we now get our scrolls of identification for 800 Astral Diamonds. And we also see several rune stones, which are used for companions. One other thing that I've noticed is mail. For some reason, the item that you get in the mail cannot be retrieved until you go to a mailbox, despite the fact that I can actually read my mail in the field. This seems like a very arbitrary and poor restriction on the game. So hopefully they will remove that restriction before launch. So here we are back with my wizard. Now, you may notice that we're in the same place that we were in Beta Weekend 2, and that I really haven't progressed. There's a reason for this. As mentioned in the last Beta Weekend, the wizard has, despite being a control wizard, has a heck of a lot of problems with control. Most of the holds didn't last very long at all, and you were probably better off just attacking. While they have improved the holds a little bit in this build, which I think you'll see here as we go poke some mobs, it's still very much single target, and the wizard crumples very quickly under multi-target situations. So, and that could just be my build. It's entirely likely, and it's exacerbated by the fact that I haven't been able to surmount this massive level discrepancy from the last beta weekend. So I'm only level 25. The mobs in this area have been level 27, 28, 28, and in fact the reason I haven't progressed this quest is because the mobs in it are level 29 and I'm getting my ass handed to me. So hopefully Cryptic fixes this problem before launch. I have not leveled another character this far. It is fair to note that my cleric was not actually having issues when I was playing her on the first beta weekend. So it's either something that they've changed between the first and the second beta weekend. I don't know. I'm trying to show you. Here's a bigger guy here. I was actually having a little trouble with these earlier because I was actually level 24, and that made these harder. So here's the Hulk coming up. Heal him, and there. And he's staying up there for a couple seconds longer than before. In fact, that's actually a decent hold now. There's a good reason for using the hold on the stronger mobs, because they'll actually stay in place and be unable to attack. The other problem that I've had with the control wizard, well, and this isn't necessarily a problem with the control wizard itself, but my companion here, who is supposed to be a defender companion, really only grabs a single mob at his leisure. And while he does hold the mob, it means that all the other mobs are basically free to bash my face in, and he does absolutely nothing about it. They have no control over you have no control over your companion. You cannot tell them to attack, you cannot tell them to defend. They simply seem to behave like other games, pets, defend pets. So they will attack whatever you first attack, and then they kind of stay on it, and you can't really get them to do anything else. So that has made this leveling much harder than it otherwise would be. So other things that I've noticed, open up my inventory. We have the potions and my horse are now actually, these are kind of inventory slots, so they are no longer sitting in my inventory, which is nice. Other things, they have not improved the identification scroll mechanic at all. In fact, and I should have a little bit of footage here, they are obtainable not by real cash, but by astral diamonds, and this is a problem. As you can see, I still have a lot of items in my inventory that are unidentified. Unidentified items only sell for 1 copper if you're selling them to a vendor. I can't imagine that they sell particularly well in the auction house, so basically they are forcing you to spend astral diamonds in order to identify your items if you want to have cash in terms of the gold, silver, copper. I've kind of taken the thing with my guardian, my great weapon fighter, such that they only identify items they can actually use, and even then the scrolls are a little tighter than I'd like. So that, I hope, gets changed before launch, but I don't have a whole lot of hope for it because that's going to be kind of a money sink for them. Just to give you an idea, I've been getting 300 or so astral diamonds when I invoke, and these things are, and I can only do that, once every hour. And these things are costing 400, so you have to play for essentially more than an hour to get a single scroll. And that's assuming that you haven't gotten any that have dropped, and I have not seen very many of them drop off the mobs. You do have this chest mechanic. Let me show you if I can find mine. Here it is. This chest opens every couple of levels. It does contain a set of identification scrolls and some other consumables, but it's still not enough to let you identify everything you pick up. So, yeah. Other thing you might have noticed is when I've been smacking these guys around is there is occasionally some icons that show up next to damage numbers. I've seen swords, lightning bolts, little angular lines. It's not doing it this time.
there's a lightning bolt. I have not been able to figure out what those are. I've looked at the combat log. They don't seem to be consistent with damage types. There might be a relation to critical hits, however, that's usually indicated by a larger number. So I have no idea what those are there for, and they haven't explained it in the tutorial. Anyway, now to kind of show you the more fun part of the video, where we take a Guardian Fighter and kind of go over the abilities that it has and what kind of role they probably will fulfill in groups. Alright, and here we have the Great Weapon Fighter. This is the 5th class in the game that Cryptic has put into the beta, along with the other features for this weekend's beta. And as far as I'm aware, is the last class to be in at launch. They have promised more classes post-launch, but at this point they now have released all of them. So this is, I've done kind of the first area, or the first real area in the game. So I kind of have a pretty good feel for the Great Weapon Fighter and how they play. Plus, I also wanted to kind of show you this, which is the only place I've really seen these so far, is these events. This is a timed event. As you can see, this one ends in another 11 minutes or so. It's called Relic Hunt. I have a score of 0. My rank is 0 because I obviously haven't done anything. This one says, collect lost relics. The tower district is full of lost relics hidden throughout the city ruins. Collect as many as you can before time runs out. So essentially, I need to run around and look for things I can pick up off the ground, the relics, and depending on how many I pick up, I will get kind of a ranking on a scoreboard, and depending on my ranking, I will get items, and that ranking is relative to all the other players in the area. So, Great Weapon Fighter. Well, this is basically a fighter, as you know, if you're familiar with D&D, you probably well know. What do we got? I'm only at level 9 at the moment, but it's very much AoE melee. Your basic at-will attack is Wicked Strike. This is a 12-foot range, 290-degree cone. Deal damage in a wide arc around you. The third hit deals additional damage, and damage overall is slightly reduced for every target you hit beyond the first. So, similar to, say, Terra, this actually is using collision to actually determine how many you hit. So, if you actually hit, 10 people in a cone, then you're going to deal damage to 10. The Reaping Strike is your second at-will. This is a 15-foot range and a 3-foot cylinder. Hold the button to prepare a powerful sweeping strike that grows in strength the longer you charge it up. When charging or swing, you gain more determination from taking damage. And I'm not entirely sure what determination is. I'm not sure I have anything that spends it. So, encounter powers. We have Punishing Charge, rush forward, passing through enemies and striking them along the way. This is a 25-foot range, 4-foot cylinder, 110 to 129 physical damage. We have Roar, which is a 30-foot range, 45-foot cone, 115 to 135 physical damage. Unleash a mighty battle roar in front of you, interrupting and pushing your opponents back, and building determination for every target hit. And Restoring Strike. You slice through a single target in front of you with merciless satisfaction, healing yourself based on the damage dealt and restoring stamina. It's 15-foot range, 3-foot cylinder, 233 to 275 physical damage. And this one, which we just got at level 9 here, not so fast. Personal range, 13-foot burst. Release a fast spinning slice to the legs of the enemies around you, briefly slowing them. 151 to 177 physical damage. So I currently have these first 3 slotted, because I just got this one. And then I have, Avalanche of Steel slotted for my daily, but here's the 2 dailies. So Spinning Strike, personal range, 10-foot burst, 31 to 36 physical damage. Using the weight of your body against it, you swing the sword around you multiple times, cutting into foes around you and increasing your run speed while active. Then we have Avalanche of Steel. Personal 30-foot burst, 264 to 312 physical damage, leap into the air, and come down with a crushing force that leaves your enemies prone. This one has an interesting targeting mechanic, which I will be showing to you. Again, we only have one Paragon path so far. I'm hoping that Cryptic is going to be able to get more of them out before launch, but it's not looking good at the moment. Your standard set of feats, and I don't actually have any companions at the moment. So let's go kill us some orcs. I am in the queue for a skirmish, so hopefully that'll pop and I can show that to you as well. So you can see our basic attack here. Swing, 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 and when they die, they fling and physic real nicely, sliding along the ground there. You may have noticed my dash here for the great weapon fighter. You hold shift and you dash for as long as you're holding it down, and you have stamina. So more customizable, but harder to instantly dodge out of the way, as there isn't kind of a fixed range on the dodge like you do with some of the other classes. Alrighty, where are... Oh, there's a relic. And that's a big guy. Can I pick it up before he hits me? Yes! Dash out of the way. Here's Reaping Strike. So, good chunk of damage. Healing, nothing really to write home about. So, that one you're mostly going to use because it's a single target attack that deals a lot of damage. Let's see if we can shout him back. And we can dash through him to get to the other side. And now I'm going to throw my daily out. And you can see I'm moving this with the keyboard, and everything within that circle would have been hit. The blue receding circle is kind of the timer for how long it takes before it goes off, and you aim the center blue with WSAD. Down. And now you can see I am 1 and rank 7 with 4 minutes left on the clock. So not too many people have actually found relics yet if there's only 7. We shall progress onward, and we've got these captured guards here who refuse to run away until you actually interact with them. You know, MMO logic and all that. There's another relic here. There is. We can get higher on the leaderboard. Rank 4 for 2. Not bad at all. I have had problems in this area in previous betas with very fast respawn of the orcs. Hey, look, a third relic. Which has been very annoying in trying to navigate around. It's not really been much of a problem so far, but I think the higher population here has been helping, and I don't know, I guess he's running off, so I don't feel too bad about stealing that guy. Let's take these guys out, dash through. Yeah, I don't want, okay, heal up. I have had 1 or 2 targeting issues with that single attack where it doesn't hit the guy that I think it hits. That may entirely be my fault. I'm not willing to place that on the game, usually because the people I'm targeting are within close proximity of each other. Before I forget, I'm going to quickly swap out. Let's do that, and let's do that, so we can kind of show you guys the other abilities that I have unlocked. Dodge. Ah, he died, so it didn't really show it off. Let's pick up the gold here on the ground. Still need 2 more guards and several more orcs. There we go. We can now dodge away, and you can see they're running. Well, I think they're running a little slower. It's kind of hard to tell. Dash through. Target. Heal up. And we are now using our spinny move, which I am controlling with WASD and dealing damage to anybody I get close to. And now I'm going to switch back to Avalanche of Steel, Just Speak, and Roar, I think, because I'm liking those a little better. I guess I can't replace it while it's on cooldown. Right, Roar, there. 3 relics. I have dropped to rank 5, which means somebody else has been finding some. Another guard. Kind of see on the mini-map the blue outline that indicates where the quest mobs are. This should be our last guard here. Yep. And we just have to take out some additional orcs. You are wolves, not orcs. Not having too much trouble with potions, still getting plenty of them. So survival hasn't been much of an issue, though I'm still eating them. Because like the wizard, I guess unlike the wizard who's supposed to be keeping people away, but I have to kind of stay in the middle of things as this character. Though I have some nice dodging and shove abilities that help. Alright, there that is. I'm going to, let's see, gather up everything, and I'm going to mark for join. The relic hunt should still be okay, so shift 1. Off we are, so you'll get to see this one. Unlike the one I showed the last beta weekend, this one I didn't have any problems with, and is basically a defense. Okay, she's just giving lore rather than an assault. And the final boss doesn't take forever to defeat. So here we go. Yeah, 3 of the 5 people in this group are great weapon fighters. Not surprising since this is the new class. So people are certainly trying it out. Let's smack these guys down. Anybody within the large golden ring gets hit by that. And, oh, that's nice. They've enhanced the UI there to specifically say your class cannot use this. And they can run around on fire for a while. Doesn't seem to have done much damage. Just missed with that. I guess the healing component could help in group situations, so, you know, just kind of keeping you topped off and such, but certainly on its own, it doesn't really do anything. And that's great. Looks like we've lost our healer, who claims to be disconnected. Of course, it's beta, so very possible that he did actually just get disconnected or the server kicked him for whatever reason. It is going to make this harder. There's charge up move. You note that I can still move while doing that. I'm just moving at a reduced speed. Dodge back out of range of that. I apparently can't shout it back into the fire. Now we are given a chance to rest up here. Oh, looks like our healer's back, so that's good. Gonna have to dodge these guys because they are agreed on that. They definitely are smacking you into the ground every time you hit them. Getting away. That's a really nice feature of that ability because you can move it, you can follow mobs or other players who are trying to get away. Cutscene here for the boss of the instance. Oh. Scenario, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, we do not actually have a tank. At least I would not consider a great weapon fighter to be a tank. Fortunately, our healer seems to have no trouble keeping everybody up. That on the group. Again, it does not seem to actually send prone these guys. But it did help clear out the smaller ones. Here we go. Finished and done. Let's go get our reward here. Once it lets us. Which just turned out to be silver and copper. Not that great. Alright, now as you can see, we are dropped right back in the world where we exited, which is very convenient. Alright, dropped out of the party there. Let's take a look at what we got for level 10 here. We've got a new rank of punishing charge, class powered destroyer. Your huge swipes strike deep, increasing your damage by 3% every time you hit more than 3 enemies with a single attack. Stacks up to 5 times, so that's a motivation for you to get in the thick of things and do some big damage. So I've got a quest here to go check out PvP, which this game does contain, and in fact is enabled.
Queue up with friends to fight other players. Prove it.
And although I probably will not be showing that off simply because PvP isn't my thing, and well, I would suck at it. There are plenty of people out there who are much better at that kind of thing than I am. We get our level up box, which gives us some more scrolls, an altar, some healing, teleport scroll. We of course get 2 ability points, the abilities and feat points. First coming here at level 10, so we will increase our attributes here. I'm going to put one more into strength to give us up to 20. And let's see. Dexterity. Critical chance, AoE damage resist, deflection chance, and dexterity modifier. And constitution, resistance is ignored, maximum hit points. Alright, so I like hit points. I'm probably going to need hit points since I'm in the thick of things, so I'm going to go with those attributes. The next time we'll get it is at 20. You can see that you basically get to put some points in every 10 levels. At level 30 and at level 60, you automatically get +1 into everything, in addition to the 2 points you get to assign. So now we're going to go over to feats. What do we got? We got unstoppable action. You gain 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% bonus action points for dealing damage while you are unstoppable. Gets 1 of strength. Increase the amount of bonus damage strength gives you by 5, 10, or 15%. Toughness. Increase your maximum hit points by 3, 6, 9%. I'm going to go with this one of strength because, well, I like hitting things hard and my strength's pretty high. And 10, we get our class power, Unstoppable, which it clicked on and it does not show it to me here. Let's mouse over it here. So, usable at 50% or more determination. With Grim Resolve, you break free from control effects and steel yourself for the challenge ahead. While active, you are immune to control effects. Your at-will attacks are much faster but slightly weaker, and you resist 20 to 40% of incoming damage based on how much determination you had. Determination is built by taking damage or killing foes. And interestingly enough, the higher rank of Punishing Charge has given me a second charge of that, so I can now do it twice in a row. And I'm going to imagine that Determination is the giant bar. Well, okay, it's now faded, so you can't see it. There you go. And there's the big tutorial message going, hey, by the way, this is your determination bar. So, causing damage builds the bar. Looks like staying out of combat lets the bar decrease. Unfortunately, the tutorial tooltip is not taking into account my key bindings. No real matter, because it shows you the key binding on the button itself. Just an oversight on their part. Again, beta is beta. This game is not out yet. They have plenty of time to fix bugs and improve things before launch. I think I will try Unstoppable on the next set of mobs here when we find them. Doesn't appear that I got a reward for doing the challenge, so maybe because I was in a different area it didn't. Okay, let's not get hit by that. Unstoppable! Oh yeah, that's a hell of a lot faster. That didn't last too long. Definitely something you're going to want to do, I think, at least with this particular at-will ability, when you're surrounded by people, because then you'll start really dishing out the damage. We're going to work our way back now, because we only need to make one more orc kill, and it looks like the really fast respawn rate is still in effect. Not quite enough people to keep the orcs in check. Okay, I'll drink a potion so you stop having that screen. That. Okay, this is getting nasty. Unstoppable. And I'm gonna do this because not only does it prevent me from taking damage, I deal a lot when I come back down. all the gold that kind of spewed out all over. Turn these in, and that'll kind of be our summary of the Great Weapon Fighter and a little preview here at the tower zone.
May Tempest give you some well, good luck out. Excellent. Before we secured the road between
And the
Fallen
next
Tower
quest here is
Tavern
going to
and
send us
Neverwinter
further
Garden
down.
Post, the journey was treacherous.
The path here to the next quest hub in the area. So that's the Great Weapon Fighter. And welcome back from watching the Guardian Fight. I hope you enjoyed that. My kind of closing thoughts on the Neverwinter beta. They've got a very promising game here. Unfortunately, they have some balance problems. I'm not nearly a good enough player to actually feel like I can say whether it's endemic to the wizard class or not. Now, and of course, because Neverwinter has the Foundry, you can certainly go play a bunch of user-created content to level up your character. However, I think that's kind of bad form, relying on your customers to improve the experience on their own. But we'll see how that looks at launch. I don't anticipate a lot of user-created content at launch, simply because it takes time. And people have not had a lot of time with the Foundry. It's still not available in the beta weekends. They are supposedly running a closed beta of the Foundry for people that sign up. So hopefully people are getting some good hands-on time, and will also end up having some content at launch. But again, I don't think Cryptic should be relying on them to making their leveling curve acceptable. Other than that, the game's flashy. It's a hell of a lot of fun to play from the class mechanic standpoint. I think if they can iron out the leveling curve and the deal with the issues with the identification scrolls and a couple of other gripes that I have, I think they have a really good game here. So I hope you've enjoyed watching over these beta weekends. If they do have another beta weekend or an actual open beta, I may do some more videos for that. I will be in a couple days early on the actual launch game, and I think I should do a video of that, just to kind of take a look at how the game is at launch and the state of user-created content. Maybe do a Foundry video. So I hope you've enjoyed watching over these beta weekends, and we will see you next time.